Vaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We seek the blessings of Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Madhav, Krishna Balaram, Bhalgopal, Gonita, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. Wanted to talk about Lord Nityananda today, because tomorrow is his appearance day. And tomorrow we will have Abhishek of Shishi Gonitai. And we wanted to just give a little idea about who this great personality is. Okay, so here he is in the picture. Appearance day of Lord Nityananda. And this is a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, text number 5, chapter 5, text number 1. Vande Ananta Bhutaishwaryam Shri Nityanandam Ishwaram Yashe Chaye Tat Swarupam Agye Napi Nirupyate. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Shri Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. So we have to have his will. Very important to have a chance of understand. Of course, you can never understand the Supreme fully, but he can give us the blessing to somewhat understand him. Lord Nityananda Prabhu is requesting everyone, oh, people of faith, by the order of Lord Gauranga, oh, brothers, I beg 3 requests, all of you.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Did we do Mangalacharan?
Yes. Rianch.
I did it. I joined a bit late. Okay.
Yeah.
And Karuna is not there today.
Yeah, no, she's busy today.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. No, thank you so much. So chanting Hare Krishna, worshipping Krishna, and teaching about Krishna, others about Krishna. So these are important things. So every day we chant, every day we do some puja, and it's wonderful when we are able to share about Krishna to others. So this is actually what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu wants. And this is a really nice old picture. It's said that this picture actually resembles what Nityananda looks like when he came to this world. This is an interesting diagram. Without your mercy, no one will get Gaura. Even if one worships Gaura for 100 lifetimes. Sometimes Gauranga may punish someone, but you will protect them. But if you punish someone, Gaura will never accept them. So Nityananda is so merciful, as we will see, especially one of the pastimes with Jagai and Madai. But Lord Nityananda's mercy is second to none. Amar Nitya Prabhu Gaura Sundar. So by the mercy of Nityananda, we can get the blessings of Gaura. So one of my prayers every morning is, let me become close to Gaura. This is prayers to Nityananda. And this is beautiful Mayapur, Panchatattva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle, Nityananda, Dvaitacharya, Gadadhar Pandit, Shrivas, not Srinivas, Shrivas Pandit. And how they correspond in Krishna Lila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, Nityananda is Balaram. The expansion of Balaram is now Nityananda. And then Mahavishnu, Sri Advaita, and Radharani is Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas Thakur is Narad. And these 3 are considered to be Vishnu Tattva, part of this absolute truth. So, Lord Nityananda is none different from Lord Balaram, but there's an added amount of compassion which makes him the most merciful. Before this incarnation, he was Lakshman, Ram's younger brother. This is Nityananda on the right-hand side as you're looking, and this is Balaram on the left-hand side. You can see similarities in the way they dress and hold their staff and to plow. And Lakshman was there with Sita and Ram. Nityananda Prabhu was born in Ekachakra, a small village in present-day West Bengal. So today tomorrow there's festivals going on, and our own Kanupriya is actually in Ekachakra as we speak, serving and doing wonderful seva. So where is Ekachakra? This is Orissa, and where is Orissa here? This is Orissa, this is West Bengal. So next to Orissa is West Bengal, and this is West Bengal. And approximately here in the district of Nadia is Mayapur, and from Mayapur, just going up north a little bit more, we come to Ekachakra. It's about maybe 100 kilometers far from Mayapur. He was born 1474, 12 years before Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya was 1486. Nityananda Prabhu was born on the auspicious 13th day of bright fortnight of the month of Magh. That's Nityananda Triyodasi, as we call it. And that's tomorrow. Half-day fast tomorrow, if possible. So until noon at least. His birth site is commemorated by a temple named Garbhashwa, Nityananda Janamsthan. And you can go there today, and it has a nice gate and beautiful monument depicting his appearance. And this is his father's house, Hadai Pandit. And there's a beautiful deity here of Nityananda at Ekachakra Dham. His father, Hadai Oja, and his mother Padmavati were pious Brahmins originally from Mithila. As child, Nitai, or Nityananda Prabhu, was, as he was called, loved to enact the pastimes of Krishna and Ram. The village of Ekachakra was completely absorbed in love of little Nitai, where he spent the first 12 years of his earthly life. In his 13th year, a traveling sannyasi called Lakshmipati Tirtha, enchanted by Nitai's devotion and service, he requested Nitai from his parents as a traveling companion. And this is really quite heartbreaking to read this subject. His parents were bound by Vedic culture. They could not refuse the request of a guest, and they reluctantly parted with Nitai. Devastated by the separation from Nitai, Hadai Pandit soon gave up his life. Nitai traveled with Lakshmipati Tirtha for 20 years, during which he visited all the holy places in the country. Lakshmipati Tirtha, famous disciple, is Madhavendra Puri. He was revered by Nitai, and Madhavendra Puri became his spiritual master. Amongst the other disciples of Madhavendra Puri is Advaitacharya and Ishwara Puri. Madhavendra Puri is very famous, very powerful spiritual leader. And ultimately, Ishwara Puri also became the spiritual master of the Supreme Lord himself. So this is Madhavendra Puri, this wonderful pastime where he receives some milk from Gopal himself. So Nityananda Prabhu met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 1506. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was 20 years old. He was 32. It is said that when Nityananda Prabhu reached the land of Nadai, he hid in the house of Nandacharya. He hid in the house of Nandacharya to heighten the ecstasy of meeting through separation. So very interesting. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's was aware of the arrival of his eternal associate. So he dispatched Haridas Thakur and Srivas Pandit to find Nitai, but they failed. They couldn't find him. This is Leela. Finally, unable to bear the separation any longer, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself went directly to Nityananda Prabhu, and the ecstasy of the meeting was so ecstatic that everyone witnessing it were awed by the sublime experience. You can just imagine Chaitanya and Nityananda meeting. A temple called Sri Gaura Nityananda commemorates this meeting place in Nadai. So this is the place where Nityananda and Chaitanya met for the first time. Nadia. Then Lord Chaitanya took Nityananda to the home of Srivas Pandit. So this is a very famous place in Mayapur, because this is where Kirtan was done, in the home of Srivas Pandit. They would chant for maybe 24 hours, maybe longer, all through the night. Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas to serve as his door-to-door preachers, spreading the message of love of Godhead to every home in Navadvip. So this is the Sankirtan movement, where Nityananda and Haridas were the first to spread door-to-door message of Godhead. Nityananda and Haridas met two brothers, Jagai and Madai. They were from a priestly dynasty, but they had abandoned the pious ways of their forefathers for a life of debauchery. So Jagai and Madai were in a drunkard stupor, creating havoc throughout the village. And Nityananda was thinking, if these two can be rectified by the mercy of the holy name, then it will mean that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission will become very successful. So he felt great compassion on them, and he approached them. He approached the two brothers on the streets. Nitai begged them to chant the holy name of Krishna, but the two villains just chased Nityananda down the road, shouting profanities and calling him foul names. Madai threw that was the first occasion. I think then Nityananda again, he saw them again on the street with Haridas, and he approached them again. But this time, Madai threw a clay pot on the head, on the divine head of Nityananda. Now, of course, the Lord doesn't have a material body like ours. He doesn't bleed. But in order to show some leela, perform some leela, his head began to bleed from the throw of the clay pot. Somebody relayed this back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came rushing there, infuriated. He was angry. He summoned the Sudarshan Chakra. He was prepared to kill both Jagai and Madai on the spot because of their offense to Nityananda. He was ready. But if you see here, Nityananda is stopping him. No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you can't kill them. If you kill them, you'll have to kill all of them, because they're all like this. Have your mercy. You shouldn't have brought your Sudarshan Chakra. You should have left it in Golo, in Vaikuntha. There's no need for it here. Nityananda reminded the Lord that the majority of people in this age are as fallen as Jagai and Madai, and that it is his mission to liberate them with love. So hearing these words, Mahaprabhu also understood that Jagai stopped Madai from doing further harm to Nityananda. So immediately Mahaprabhu forgave Jagai. He said, oh, yes, you stopped the bad activities of Madai from making things even worse. But Madai, who had perpetrated the evil deed, needed to be forgiven by Nityananda Prabhu himself. And of course, Nityananda Prabhu very quickly forgave Madai. When Jagai and Madai saw Nityananda's forgiving nature towards them, their hearts were changed. They realized, wow, we have been such offenders, and yet Nityananda is willing to forgive our crazy behavior. They resolved to become devotees of Mahaprabhu's mission. So because Nityananda had forgiven Madai, then Mahaprabhu also forgave them, forgave him and forgave Jagai. Seeing their sincerity, Mahaprabhu took all their sins on his own head. For a few moments, his beautiful golden body turned an unsightly blackish color. So this is the amount of sinful reactions that were being carried by Jagai and Madai, which were released. And it's by this act, it seems like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took those sinful reactions onto himself and destroyed them. Indeed, when Yamaraj's assistant Chitragupt tried to tally Jagai and Madai's collective sins, he could not do so. He collapsed from exhaustion. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Nityananda deceived him to come to the home of Advaita in Shantipur. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas in Katwa, and he was heading straight to Vrindavan, even without saying goodbye to his mother or the devotees. And Nityananda felt compassion for his mother and for Chaitanya's mother. And he tricked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by saying to him that you are already in Vrindavan. This is the Yamuna. Actually, it wasn't the Yamuna. It was the Ganga. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was led to believe he was already in Vrindavan. But actually, he was at Shantipur, where the Ganga flows. And Shantipur is a residence of Advaitacharya. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was tricked to go to Shantipur, Advaitacharya's home. His mother, Shachidevi, came there, and she was shocked to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's bald head, shaven head, because he's taken sannyas. So then he stayed there for some days, and his mother cooked for him, as did Sita Mata, who is the wife of Advaitacharya. And they had wonderful pastimes. And Nityananda is here as well. They would take prasad together. Advaitacharya would serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a lot of prasad. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I'm a sannyasi, I can't eat so much. And Nityananda would get the same amount of prasad. And he would say, is that all you've given me? He says, it's a morsel of food. Why are you so stingy? So Nityananda and Advaita had quite a wonderful relationship. They were always joking with each other. And Advaitacharya said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, well, you are the Supreme Lord. You eat 64, Chapan Bhog, 56 offerings every day in Jagannath Puri. So please eat. This is nothing for you. And to Nityananda, he would say, hey, don't be such a a sense enjoyer. You've enough food in your plate, just eat that and be happy. In this way, they would joke with each other. And Nityananda would sometimes throw the prasad at Advaitacharya, and Advaitacharya would be jumping up and down because he was enjoying that pastime. Nityananda also broke the Lord's danda in 3 parts and threw it in the river Bargi Nadi. And so this has become known as the Dandabhanga Nadi. Why did he do this? Why did he do this? Why did he break the danda? And that infuriated Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who left for Jagannath Puri on his own. So this was one of the reasons. He wanted to go on his own. He didn't want to go with so many devotees. So Nityananda facilitated this by breaking the danda in 3 parts. And also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas from Keshav Bharati, who was from the Mayavadi sect, and they only carry 1 danda. So Nityananda broke into 3 danda because that's what the Vaishnavas carry. They carry 3, they're known as 3 dandi sannyasis, 3 dandas. So that was another reason why Nityananda broke it into 3 parts. And the 3 parts is basically surrendering body, soul, mind, body, and soul to the Supreme Lord. That's what the 3 dandi sannyasis do. They're Vaishnava sannyasis. Later, he was joined by Nityananda and other devotees in Jagannath Puri. And then after some time, Mahaprabhu went to the south of India for 2 years. And in Jagannath Puri, Nityananda, although feeling great separation from the Lord, spread the Sankirtan movement with great relish. So he stayed back there. When Mahaprabhu returned, he was pleased to see that Nityananda had developed the movement in Puri. However, the movement in Navadvip had been sorely neglected. And so in 1511, Mahaprabhu requested Nityananda to return to Bengal to preach, to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. Nityananda Prabhu was successful in spreading Krishna consciousness throughout Bengal. So this is the Harinam Sankirtan that would chant and sing with great ecstasy, led by Chaitanya and Nityananda. Nityananda would lead the kirtans in the Gundicha temple, which is regarded to be Vrindavan in Jagannath Puri itself. And they would do kirtan in the Jagannath temple in Jagannath Puri before Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and Sudarshan. And of course, the famous Rath Yatras, they would do kirtan and dance and jump up and down before the Lord Jagannath. Nityananda Prabhu, in his role as the original spiritual master, was instrumental in spreading Yuga Dharma of Sankirtan all over Gaudadesh. That's Gaudadesh is Bengal and Orissa. His mercy knew no bounds, and people fortunate to come in contact with him were inundated with love of Godhead. It was by his mercy that Raghunath Das was born into a family, a wealthy family. He became one of the 6 Goswamis. He started the famous Dandamotsava festival of Panihati, which is the tradition which continues to this day, where devotees make yogurt and chip rice, and they enjoy that eating all together. This is Nityananda giving his blessings to Raghunath Das Goswami. And this is the place of Panihati, the sacred tree under which Nityananda Prabhu blessed Raghunath Das Goswami. And that festival drew so many devotees. That was the original first festival of Panihati, chip rice and yogurt festival. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was not present, came to that festival. He came back for that festival to enjoy with the devotees. Nityananda Prabhu traveled on visiting Shantipur, Navadvip, where he literally went door to door begging people to surrender to Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission. He is said to have converted no less than 1,200 male and 1,300 female Buddhists to Vaishnavism. Lord Nityananda took Jiva Goswami on a parikram of Navadvip, this area surrounding Mayapur, the holy abode of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When they approached Mayapur, Lord Nityananda, overwhelmed in ecstasy of love of Godhead, spoke the following words to Jiva Goswami. So this is in this book, Navadvip Dham Mahatmya by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. When our Lord appears, by his desire, the Ganga will swell. The Ganga water will almost cover Mayapur for 100 years, and then the water will recede. For some time only, the place will remain devoid of houses. Then again, by the Lord's desire, this place will become prominent. People will live in Mayapur as before. All these ghats on the banks of the Ganga will again be manifest, and the devotees will build temples of the Lord. One exceedingly wonderful temple will appear from which Gauranga's eternal service will be preached everywhere. And this is reckoned to be the temple of Vedic Paramcharyam, which is being currently built in Mayapur. So this is Nityananda taking Jiva Goswami on a tour of this wonderful land. When Nityananda Prabhu returned to Bengal at the request of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he decided to abandon his Avadut status and became a Grihastha. He married Janava Devi and Vasudha, the two daughters of Surya Das Sarakhel, and their incarnations of Revati and Varuni, the two wives of Balaram. So this is where Janava Devi, Nityananda was married, Ambika Kalna. Nityananda had also a son, Virachandra, and a daughter called Ganga Devi from Vasudha. So Janava Devi had no children, but Vasudha had two. Soon after, Vasudha passed away and Janava Devi looked after the children. She later initiated Virachandra and also became an instructing spiritual master to the wonderful souls like Shyamananda Pandit, Srinivas Pandit, and Narottam Das Thakur. So she was actually a very powerful spiritual leader, guru. She's revered as a Vaishnavi and established a preeminent position of women in Vaishnava tradition. Very powerful personality, Janava Devi. Lord Nityananda wound up his earthly pastimes by merging into the deity of Krishna known as Bankim Ray, not far from Ekchakra. This is Bankim Ray. He merged into the deity. Vaishnavacharyas emphatically state that people who try to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without getting the mercy of Nityananda will never succeed. One must pray very sincerely to Lord Nityananda Prabhu as the Adi Guru, original spiritual master, to be delivered to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The presence of Nityananda Prabhu is always felt in the presence of one's own Guru. For the Guru is considered the living manifestation of Nityananda Prabhu's love and mercy. His Shakti or power is what gives the disciple the ability to perform devotional service and experience spiritual bliss. So without Nityananda, we actually can't even perform Bhakti Yoga because he is that Shakti, that power enabling us to perform some sort of devotion. Many pastimes there were between Nityananda and others, especially with Haridas Thakur. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would order them to go door to door, and Haridas Thakur was a lot older than Nityananda. And when they came back from the door-to-door preaching, Haridas Thakur would complain to Advaitacharya that this Nityananda, he's crazy. He goes around pulling the hairs of the Brahmins and the girls, and he fights with crocodiles and does some crazy things, and I get chased about everywhere. He's much faster than I am. I'm older, and they catch me and they give me a beating. And this is all because of this crazy Nityananda. In this way, he would joke. They would enjoy joking about each other, and they had a wonderful sense of humor. Nityananda is also Ananga Manjari. Actually, another expansion of Balaram is Ananga Manjari, which is Radharani's younger sister in Madhuri Ras. Nityananda's mercy to Shivananda Sen. So once, when the devotees from Bengal again journeyed to Jagannath Puri to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the leader, as usual, was Shivananda Sen, who traveled with his wife and children. Because arrangements were delayed en route, Nityananda did not have a suitable place to reside. He became somewhat angry with Shivananda, who was in charge of the affairs of the party, and kicked him in loving anger. Shivananda Sen felt highly favored to have been kicked by Nityananda Prabhu. So this is the pastime. Very interesting. Nityananda's mood and behavior was something else. This is his lotus feet. The soles of his lotus feet contain all these different symbols. And here we've got, one day we'll go through these different symbols so that we understand what they are. Very interesting symbols. And this is on his hand. He's got different types of symbols there as well. And we've got an idea of what they are. He's got 12 names. This is from the writings of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Nityananda Avadut Tendu Vasudha Pranar Vallabh Janavi Jivita Pati Krishna Prema Pada Prabhu Padmavati Sutta Shriman Sachinandan Purvaja Bhavonmata Jagat Tattata Rakta Gaura Kalevara. So Nityananda means who embodies eternal bliss. Avadut Tendu, the moon of divine madman. Avadut means mad. He was the maddest of them all in a transcendental way. The beloved of the life breath of Vasudha, and the eternal divine husband of Srimati Janavadevi, and the maintainer and sustainer of her life and soul. Krishna Prem Pada, one who bestows ecstatic love for Krishna. Prabhu, the master and the Lord and Master of devotees. Dear son of Padmavati Sutta, Shriman, splendorous transcendental majesty. Satchidananda Purvaja, the older brother of mother, Sachi's son. So him and Nityananda, Chaitanya, are considered brothers. Bhavanmata, he is maddened in overwhelming ecstatic emotions. Jagat Tata, savior of the universe. Rakta Gaura Kalevara, whose complexion is golden tinged with red. Interesting, tinged with red. Interesting. Okay, so we want to stop there. Any questions, any comments?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna. Very interesting. I want to know, you know what you said about the danda? It was broken into three because he took initiation from Keshava. Is it Keshava?
Keshava.
So he was did you say Mayavadi?
Sannyasi, yeah. He took in, because at that time there were very few Vaishnava sannyasis. So there were a lot of Mayavadi sannyasis. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought taking initiation from Keshava Bharati, a Mayavadi sannyasi, would give him that credence amongst the Mayavadi sannyasis as well. So
give him what?
That credence, that authority that he's a proper sannyasi, because he's taken sannyas from Keshava Bharati. So even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not favor the Mayavadi philosophy, he still took sannyas from a Mayavadi sannyasi, Mayavadi guru because he wanted to establish himself as a sannyasi, so that when the other sannyasis meet him, they would treat him as an equal.
Okay.
Yeah.
They would accept him. Yeah.
They would accept him. That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah.
Is that another word? Validate his position.
Validate his position.
Thank you.
That's correct. Well done.
So when the danda was broken into three,
Hmm.
so that means then he has three danda.
Exactly. He's a
So
three
it's three.
sannyasi.
But then he threw it in the
He threw
river.
it, he threw it in the water, in the river anyway. But the other reason why Nityananda threw it in the river was because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't need the danda. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand that better. Thank you, Prabhu.
No, thank you for asking and getting involved as well. I appreciate that.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Nanivan.
can you expand into his Avadut status? Then he became a Grahastha.
Yeah, actually what happened is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested him that you should marry. And because Avadut is like a sannyasi, he didn't take formal sannyas, but he was a Avadut. He was like a transcendental madman, he'd just travel anywhere, and he wouldn't have any place to stay, just like a sannyasi. And as Avadut, he was a little, his mood was just very fun-loving. He wouldn't take anything seriously. He wouldn't take anybody seriously. But then things changed when he met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu had this different effect on him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, please, spread the holy name, spread the Sankirtan movement. So together with Haridas Thakur, they would do that. But he never lost his, playful mood. Whenever Nityananda found a funny situation, he would exploit it. He would enjoy that mood and mellow with the devotees. And sometimes he would kick. He put his feet on Raghunath Das Goswami. He said to him, when Raghunath Das Goswami was very far away, he called him over and said, why are you hiding, you stingy man? You're one of the richest men in the world, or the father is the richest man in the world. You should do this festival where you feed thousands and thousands of people. And then he put his head on his foot on his head. And Raghunath Das Goswami was really chuffed. And he agreed, and he did so much seva. And we saw how he also gave Shivananda Sen a kick. A very unusual behavior. But that was Nityananda. He was just Avadut, he's just behaving like a crazy man. But actually he was Supreme Lord in a very playful mood. Very playful mood.
What was his age when he merged into the deity of Krishna?
I'm not too sure. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so after, he was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I think 15
something.
1524, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. So it was after that. So 1530, something like that. Not sure exactly when.
No.
Yeah, but it was just after, sometime after. Yeah.
So, yes, 500 years ago is not that long, about 10 generations away from now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before, I mean, in the past. So, there must be some descendants of Nityananda Prabhu around.
Yes. I think there are. Definitely, there is some connection still left, because we hear often this is Nityananda's parivar,
Okay.
Yeah, definitely there is something. I'm not quite sure exactly what, but I have come across now and then, especially Janava Devi. She initiated many, many devotees, and she was a very powerful spiritual guru. And her, so the disciples, they had children. So there is that line is there, definitely. Definitely there's a line there.
Now, something that I read on the news today, considering, Ram Mandir is being built, and the deities of Ram and Sita, the stones are being brought from River Gandki in Nepal.
Really?
And they are huge stones. They're being brought in the crane after 2 stops. Then they'll be brought to the Ayodhya. But seeing that, I remember Gandki and they all talked about the Shaligram is found in plentiful. So I thought I must tell you that this is very, very interesting that these stones are brought from, and these stones are millions of years old.
Wow. I wonder if they are Shaligram as well then. They must be Shaligram, right?
They're saying there is a mention about Shaligram there, but there's no, they're huge, 20 stones, 30 stones.
Yeah.
Very weight, too much weight. But they did mention something about the Shaligrams. I don't know whether they are real Shaligram or not.
Very interesting.
I was very pleased about that.
So are they in the process of moving?
The stones are being the process of the moving. At the moment, they are in Gorakhpur.
Oh, wow.
Then from Nepal, they've been to Gorakhpur. Then they are going to go to Faziabad, something, and then they'll be moved to Ayodhya.
Yeah, Faziabad is only 6 kilometers from Ayodhya. Yeah. Okay. Very interesting.
Very interesting. I found it very interesting.
Yeah, that is good news. Wow, that's going to be amazing. We'll have to do a trip once things settle down a bit there. Wow.
Prabhu also, the wife of Nityananda Prabhu, the one who gave initiation. Did you say Janava? Janava, was it?
Janvi.
Janavi.
Yeah.
She initiated, is it Shamananda Prabhu, was it?
She was more like a Shiksha guru to them. Shamananda, they were initiated by, I think, Jiva Goswami or someone like that. But the Janava Devi was the Shiksha guru to them.
Okay.
But
So Shamananda Prabhu, he was the one who went to Vrindavan and then he was cleaning. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Hridaya Chaitanya is his guru. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. But she's very powerful. She was the leader of the Vaishnavas at that time. So after Nityananda left, she carried on, you see. She carried on. So very powerful.
Okay, yeah. So Shamananda, he was the one who was cleaning the temple.
Yes. And he found the anklet of Radharani.
Yeah.
That's correct. He was called Dukhi Krishna, and then Radharani changed the name to Shyamananda.
Oh, Radharani changed that.
Yeah, Radharani changed the name.
Why was he called Dukhi? I forgot, because all his brothers, the children of his parents, passed away.
Yeah, that's right. And for some reason, the spiritual master Hridaya Chaitanya gave him that name, Dukhi Krishna Das. So that was changed by Radharani. And then his spiritual master found out they're calling him Shamananda, and he had this strange tilak on. So he got really upset. And then later on, he found out, oh, this is by the mercy of Radharani. So he became happy as well. To have such an exalted disciple.
We don't have pictures of him. I mean, I know it's not today, but another time we can.
Oh, we have, Shaman, but like paintings of him,
Paintings, yes. So,
there are.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll share them sometime when his birthday or something like that.
Yes. But the sign on Nityananda Prabhu's feet and hands, we need to go through them because you went through it very briefly. So
yes, no, we will. We'll spend a whole session on that actually, because this each item has significance. So good point. Yeah, we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that on Saturday. Maybe we'll do that Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you. Unless there's anything else anybody wants to share, we can stop there. Okay. Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Tomorrow we'll do Abhishek of Lord Nityananda, Gaura Nitai. Hare Krishna.